And so that's when I started to look at other emerging platforms, right? And at this time, it was kind of an arms race of all new social media platforms, right? So Instagram popped up,
Okay.
Vine popped up, Periscope popped up.
I remember Periscope too.
There's another, I forgot what another Periscope competitor, there was another live, but you know, now, like there's so many of these platforms that just came up, which honestly for the younger audiences, you guys on TikTok, there'd be no TikTok without any of the things I just
Without
named.
Vine.
Yeah, so Vine was
Yeah.
actually really interesting. I don't know how much I can share, but there's a lot of people that always ask me about like what happened to Vine. I was like, funny story.
Yeah. So
I-
what happened to Vine?
Yeah, so look, just
From the people in the know.
this is so funny because I'm wondering if anyone ever spoke out about this, and I don't really care now, but because it's been so long. But yeah, so what had happened was, I started to work with a lot of the top Viners at that time. I actually gave a lot of the top Viners like their first big paycheck.
Okay.
So everyone from the Lele Pons of the world to Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Rudy Mancuso, Christian Del Grosso, like all these kids back in the time that were just super popping. I had signed a few of them to Maker at that time, which, by the way, really opened up an entire world of new audiences, right? It went from YouTubers, right, to influencers. Creators was not yet a term yet because creators came after that kind of blanket everyone. But yeah, the social media term influencer really came with the birth of Instagram and Vine.
Okay.
So with Vine, there's a lot of learned lessons there. One, as you know, and as many people know, that platform exploded very, very quickly.
Yeah.
The viewership was as real as it gets, but they had not figured out how to monetize on it. No one was being paid.
Right.
And then, sure, there were a couple of Viners that learned how to do brand deals and things of that nature, but that was like their only source of income, which was kind of not that many because, once again, a very, very new, thing to this world, to the digital world. Like sponsorships on Vine, no one knew how to do that before.
Right.
That was non-existent. Sponsorships on Instagram, same thing. It was non-existent.
Right.
We were just starting how to figure out branded integration on YouTube. Never mind these other things. So, fast forward, Twitter acquired Vine, and with that, there was kind of like a coup
Okay.
with the top 1%
Right.
of Viners because essentially they claimed that they are the reason why Vine is big and why they got acquired, but none of them got paid out by Twitter.
Right.
This is so funny. I don't know if anybody knows this story. So the top, I believe it was like the top 20 at that time, and they all lived in the same apartment complex called 1600 Vine. It was on Hollywood and Vine. It was like everyone. It was
Anybody that was anybody.
Anybody was anybody
that was in that building.
and it was like a dorm, right? So like you had Jake and Logan on one door, and you had Rudy on the other, and these kids would just be shooting all day, every day. It was like Friends, like the show. They just walk into each other's apartments and start shooting.
So that was kind of essentially like the first content house, so to speak, pseudo content house.
Yeah. I mean, like it was just so fitting because Vine Street, Vine app, and they were at the height of their popularity. So you would go in there sometimes. Justin Bieber was in there. The Kendall Jenner was in there because they all wanted to be friends with the Viners at that time. They were the hottest things, like literally the hottest things. But yeah, so they all banded together, and they decided to make a proposition to Twitter, and pretty much they gave them an ultimatum saying, "Look, you are gonna pay all of us X amount of dollars. I'll put it at it was a seven-figure number."
Now, did they want that individually or as a group? Oh,
individually.
Okay.
Individually.
Okay.
Right. So there's maybe like 15 or 20 of them. Right. And I remember at this all going down, they all went to the Twitter offices, like sat them down and be like, "Look, this is what's going to happen. If you don't pay us, all of us are leaving Vine." And what I had heard was that I think they had agreed to some terms.
Okay.
But what had happened was it was only like 20 of them. And those are kids.
Yeah.
And you know what we know about kids? They don't know how to keep their mouth shut.
Exactly.
And so the rumors start to fly that these guys went to Twitter to go get money. And then, of course, there are all these other Viners, the top 100 or top 250 were like, no, we want in.
Yeah.
And once that started to happen, everything fell apart.
Yeah, the deal fell out.
It fell apart. Yeah, you couldn't do it. And then the Viners stuck to the word. We're not posting. We're out of here. And those are for those that were smart enough to evolve and diverse into YouTube are still the ones that are probably relevant today.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many Viners I can think of right now that who knows what they're doing today.
Who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, so they died with the platform, right? So yeah, that was an interesting time with Vine. But God, they really fumbled the bag. That was such an amazing platform.